Okay, so let us talk about the School of Medicine, and in this video we're going to talk about the admission list and also the cutoff point. So I've decided to make this video so that it can answer at least 80% of the questions you may have. Yeah, so if you still have more questions, you can always comment on this video or reply immediately, or you can reach out on WhatsApp. You can contact me on that line. Yeah, so without taking up so much time, let's talk about the what's this. Oh, so this is my previous video. I hope you checked it out on accommodation. I hope you got some information there. So the Livingstone campus list, it is released, and then having names, or it has student numbers of people admitted to join us in the School of Medicine. So there will be programs like medicine, pharmacy, biomed, and later on there will be, of course, other programs like public health. Yeah, so currently we only have these. So questions which people ask, basically the cutoff point. So this is where I've received a lot of questions. What would be the cutoff point this year? What determines the cutoff point? So the cutoff point is determined by the number of students who are wanted by the school. For example, in medicine, if they want 300 students, pharmacy, maybe let's say they want 150, biomed, maybe they want 100. These numbers are the ones which will determine the cutoff point. So let me make you understand. For example, in medicine, if they want 300 people, they will not just say, okay, our cutoff point is 10 points. They don't just say like this, because what if 400 people have 10 points? Meaning it will lead to problems. Yeah. So now, for the cutoff point, it is not even really put into consideration. They'll just see the number of people they want and they'll make a decision. So an example of how this happens, let's say in medicine, for people who cleared both semesters, if those people who have we can say 19 points, so the people who have 19 points, let's say there are only 5. Okay, 5, we can't admit only 5 people. Okay, what about those who have 18 points? How many are they? Okay, not bad, they are 20, but we still haven't reached our target. Okay, what about 17 points? You find there are 100 people got 17 points. Okay, sounds cool. What about those who have 16 points? You find there are 105. Oh, okay, this is interesting. Yeah, again, what about those who have 15 points? You find that they are, we can say, even 90. So like in this case, they have just reached on 15 people, and then what is the total number we are having there? That's you guys can calculate. So if you're watching this video, then you recently finished your A levels or natural sciences. Yeah, so here I'm getting 120 or 320. So this is the total number. So like in this case, they can just say, okay, then let us get 320 students, meaning the cutoff point will be 15, because they can't start looking at those who have 14 going down, because they have already reached the target. So this is basically the same that happens also for pharmacy, biomed. Yeah, so but in reality, you can even see this is exaggerated. At Mulungushi, things can be easy. If things are easy, then you are not at MU. So you'd find that people having 19 points, they are like 5, okay. Those who are having 18 points can be like 3. Those who are having 17 points, they are like 4. Those who are having 16 points, they are like 2. Those who are having 15 points, they are like 7, going down. And then now, when we go further down, that's where it gets crowded. Like if we reach somewhere 8 points, you'd find that people having 8 points are like 80. People having 9 points are like 120. You're just going down. Okay. So I hope you're getting the sense. Those who are having 7 points, rather, they are like 120. Those who are having 6 points, we are like 200, just for an example. So until the target is reached, when they just reach 300, then they'll say, okay, we're done. Yeah, so that is how the cutoff point is determined. So like for the 2023 academic year, they wanted 300 students on the list. And when they were going down up to 3.5 points, so meaning those who are having 3.5 points going above, they were only 300. And this was the cutoff point. Yeah, so this is basically what happens. They start from the top and then going down just like that. So now, a question which you may have in mind right now is, so now what if the target isn't reached? Like what if the school wants 300 people, and then even if they reach on one, people are just like 280. It means everyone who cleared will be on the list. So this is what we observed like in the 2022 academic year. So in the 2022 academic year, you might have heard from a lot of people like there were 0 points, meaning they just didn't consider the points, because even if they picked everyone, the target was only reaching 350. So in 2022 they only wanted 350 people, and then in 2023 they wanted 300 people. Yeah, so the cutoff point just depends on how many people they want. I can give you an example of 2021. So this one, it was a hot academic year during the coronavirus era. So here a lot of people did very well. Like people with 18 points, they were reaching like 10. People with 17 points, they are like, you'd imagine, 20. People with 16 points, even 15, and then coming down. So in this academic year, the cutoff point was 8. Yeah, like 8 points, and the target was reached. Yeah, so this is what determines the cutoff point. And then in 2020 or somewhere 2019, it was even hotter. Like the cutoff point was 12. Here it was 8.5. And then the other year, it was, I think, 11.5, 11 to 12. This means that a lot of people did very well. So the cutoff point can be raised or it can be reduced depending on the performance of the students, and also the number of people who are wanted. Yeah, so I hope you have gotten the picture here. So the cutoff point can be anything. It can be 2.5 depending on the pass rate. Like those who are having 16 points, there's only one. Those who are having 15 points who cleared both semesters, there are only 3. So by the time they're reaching for those who got 3.5 points, you find that there are like 50 people, meaning they'll go lower, just like that. So this is one way in which they can determine the cutoff points. Sometimes they can determine in some other way. The management is the only one who can know. Yeah, so that is basically what you can know about this. And then another question which people ask is, what if you don't make the number of cutoff points? Like, that was some wrong English. Okay, so like, what if the cutoff point is 3.5, like it was in 2023? And then what if you are having 2 points? So there are two things which can happen. If you don't reach the cutoff points, of course you will not be in the program you wanted, because it is now full. So it's either you can be considered, or you can be left out. It all depends on what they will say. You can be considered to be put in another program. If you wanted medicine, you can be in another program. So for these two, the cutoff point isn't really high. Yeah, it is not really high, because there are few people who go for pharmacy, and the school also wants few people. So you can be considered in another program, or you just be left out. You have to look for another program at the main campus. Yeah, so the cutoff point for pharmacy and biomed, usually it gets to be the same. Like both of them, it can be 3 points, or both of them, it can be 5 points, like in 2021. Yeah, it depends on what the number of people they want. Yeah, so again, if you don't make it in pharmacy, you can be lucky you make it in biomed. Yeah, again, another question which I get to be asked is, what if biomed, the cutoff point, so like we have biomed, and then we have all these others, medicine. So what if the cutoff point for medicine is let's say 6 points? Biomed, the cutoff point is like 3.5. And then what if you get 19 points and you're under biomed? Can you be put on the list for medicine? So the answer is no. So if you're having like you get 19 points, they can't put you on another program. So doing medicine doesn't mean that you are intelligent. It doesn't mean that you are superior. It's just a program you chose. You just chose biomed. Yeah, so if you get like 19 points, you can't be put in medicine, because that's not what you wanted. Yeah, unless you change. And changing, sometimes it can be easy, sometimes it can be hard. Yeah, so it all depends on all these factors. Yeah, and then another thing which determines the cutoff point, like the number of people who are already in the medical school. So let me give an example. Like in 2024, people who are doing medicine, they were about 420. But going into third year, the venue can only accommodate about 250 to 300 people, meaning not everyone will make it. So there will be some who will repeat. And when you repeat, it means the number of people in class, there will be a lot. So, and then this is where the number of people comes from. If they want 300 people, they know that others will be joining them. So on the list you can be 350, but in class you can be 450. Yeah, so all these things come into consideration, and of course other things by the management. Yeah, so you can take note. I'm not under the student union. I do not work at the university. So this is just from the little experience. Yeah, information will change eventually. Yeah, so but as at now, this is how things can be. Yeah, so if you are in pharmacy, you get like 20 points, you can't be put in another program. Yeah, unless you just change. So that was about the cutoff point, and the list usually delays so that they can consider those who are already in the medical school and all the other factors. Yeah, so this is where I'll end from here. For more questions, you have this line. Yeah, just inbox me and I'll definitely reply.